welcome back to Sincerely Be. I am your host, Blanca. Feliz lunes, mis hermosas, mis hermosos. I hope you guys really enjoyed this weekend because it was beautiful. It was such a nice weekend to do so many beautiful things. I just spent it outside, honestly, the whole time. I picked up another book. Yes, I finished Atomic Habits and I picked up another book called The 4 Agreements. It's such a good book. It's a really short book and I definitely recommend everyone to read it. It's just really, it dives deep into basically 4 non-negotiables that you should be incorporating into your daily life, and the author really dives deep of examples and everything, and I think it's just it's such a good and it's an easy book to read too. And I had been seeing this book all over my Pinterest of top books to read, and I picked it up. I found it in Walmart. It was $9 and it's such a short and easy book. So I've been taking every afternoon during my downtime after work and everything. I've just been soaking up the sun in my backyard, just reading that book, and oh my gosh, that is life. I don't know if you guys have ever felt that. There's that one moment in your life or in your day where you're just sitting down and you're like, oh, life is so good. Yeah. That has been my week. And honestly, if you guys listened to my previous episode, you guys know that I had a really off week, and this week was just so much better. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm really grateful that the days have been really pretty, that I'm able to just soak up the sun outside in my backyard, read a book, watch my dog soak up the sun. That gives me life. Just see my dog have his own backyard, if you know, you know. And just being able to have such a peaceful home to come to without the chaos, without people bickering at one another, without having someone telling you what to do. I feel so blessed to just have such a peaceful home where I feel like it's a home now. But it also makes me, acknowledge that I'm making my own life now, and I definitely have to always remember to stay in touch with my parents, my grandparents, my siblings, because of everything else that is going on in my life. I have to remember that I also have to take the time to reach out to my family members that are still here with me, and definitely always just be giving them the time of day. Also, every day I FaceTime my grandma. We have a group chat, all the nietos, we have a group chat with my grandpa, and he's always sending us these beautiful quotes to get us through the days, and I'm like, Gramps, and they're so cute, and I'm just literally, I'm I needed that today, Gramp, thanks. But yeah, and I just honestly, I'm just really grateful for a lot of things right now, and I just sit down and I just reflect, and I'm just oh, life is so beautiful right now. But anywho, my weekend was really good. I did a little bit of spring cleaning. I had been reorganizing our whole closet. I was getting rid of all of the winter stuff and bringing it upstairs to our upstairs closet, and then I'm bringing all my spring and summer clothes downstairs. And Robert and I obviously share a closet, and it's a pretty spacious closet, but because it's 2 people and extra clothes and stuff like that, it gets kind of crowded. So I always try and remove clothes that I don't wear. So if I know for this winter season I didn't wear certain clothes, I'm getting rid of it. And that's just how I work. I do not like clutter. I don't like hoarding. If I don't wear something for let's say the winter season or anything, I'm just okay, I don't need it, and I go and donate it, or I go and leave it at the thrift store or something, or I give it to people that I know can definitely use it. And so if you don't do that, you definitely should, because I'm pretty sure we have clothes that we probably don't even wear or do not need. So this is your reminder to start your spring cleaning. Robert and I went to church on Sunday, and it was honestly such a good time. It was a really good preaching that we both definitely needed. So I really liked it. I hope that we continue to go to this church. It's a really good church. He likes it and I like it, and we're definitely trying to find like our home church. When I lived out in Denver, I definitely had a home church that I really, really liked. And then moving back, it's been kind of hard to find a church that we both feel comfortable in and that we definitely want to become members in. So it takes time, but we're definitely praying for a church that's definitely going to be for both of us, not just for me and not just for him, but us as a couple, and really, like letting God guide us in our relationship, because we are getting close to the step of marriage. It's definitely important for us to keep God in the center of our relationship, and so, I'm just praying that if this is the church, then it's gonna come easy to us and God's gonna give us that guidance that we need. So yeah, I'm really excited. So if you haven't seen the title to today's episode, it's called Soft Girl Era, More Than Just the Aesthetics. So I'm pretty sure we are all aware of this soft girl era trend that has been going on TikTok and Instagram and just all over social media. And it's honestly such a beautiful trend, I think, and I just see so many people using this trend, and I want to talk a little bit more about it. So everyone talks about like, oh, I'm in my soft girl era, in my quiet girl, silent girl era, in my zen, in my no one can break my peace era. Like it's that season that a lot of women are getting into, where they're finally feeling like they need peace in their life, where they need to feel calm, and they want to feel, most importantly, in that feminine energy. And I actually wasn't aware that this trend was like somewhat controversial. Like I was hearing some podcast about it, saying, first of all, it was guys speaking about this trend. They were saying how this trend basically made women do like the bare minimum for themselves, and they were just waiting for a man to come and save them. I'm like, homeboy, you're on the wrong trend, homie, because that is absolutely zero close to what this trend is even about. And I was just shocked. And then I started going on TikTok about it, and I guess it's like men take this as like women. Okay, so I guess men take this sort of trend as like women are trying to reach their feminine energy, so they're waiting for the men to become men. And I'm like, first of all, women are not waiting for men at all. Like, let's start there. Women do this trend because they definitely want to be in touch with their feminine energy, but that doesn't mean that they're going to stop doing stuff for themselves. There is a line of being an independent woman where they can do stuff for themselves, but there's also a line where if you have a man that is already in their masculine energy, it becomes easier for the woman to get in touch with their feminine energy. So no, it's not because we are waiting for men to be men. Like, men should be men. Like, I don't understand why, if you're not a man and you don't want to act like a man, then get out of the way and let the next actual man do his duties. Like, it's just so annoying when like men out here are just like, oh my gosh, these women are trying to get saved by men, and blah. It's like, oh my God, first of all, shut up. Like, you're annoying. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. But in this episode, we're going to be talking more than just the cute aesthetic matcha lattes, or the cute fuzzy socks, or the cute outfits, the cute yoga classes that girls go to, or the Pilates classes and stuff. Or we're going to be talking way more deeper than the cute aesthetics that we have been seeing. Reaching your soft girl era is actually way harder than we actually realize. The concept of the soft girl era is really breaking it down the fact that you're finally giving yourself the space and the time to understand yourself as a woman. And men, I definitely want to talk about your soft men era as well, but that is for a whole other episode when I have a guy on here, so don't worry. But ladies, this is definitely focused on you. And hey, men, honestly, there's going to be some points on here that you can definitely take that will help you connect with yourself as a man and help you realize how you can soften whatever has hardened you and whatever has tried to make you feel like you can't show emotion or you can't be vulnerable. This episode is definitely for you as well. But I definitely think that the soft girl era is coming to terms with being more present in your day-to-day life. It's about being more mindful with how your lifestyle is. It's about what is bringing you happiness and what's causing you disconnect from the life that you want to be living and the lifestyle that you have going on. We get so caught up in this hustle mentality that you have to be doing something every single day and you have to be doing something every second on the clock. To be honest, one thing that irks me about people is when they're like, oh my God, I'm so busy. Like, I didn't even have time to eat today, or I'm so busy. Like, and they're so like antsy about everything. And you're just like, girl, chill. Like, give yourself a break. Like, trust me, there is enough time in the day to get things done. And if that doesn't get done, you'll get to it. Like, it's okay. Like, I don't understand where this mindset of like getting so stressed out to check something off our to-do list became a habit for us. Like, if you are really that busy that you cannot get food in your system for the day, you need to stop and pause and ask yourself, what the heck are you doing and why are you not eating? Like, I get it. You're busy. We are all busy. But you can put some time into your calendar to take some lunch. And if your work is not allowing you to do that, then you need to set boundaries, because that is so not healthy for your work life or your own personal life and your health. And if that hurts someone's feelings, I'm not sorry to say that, because someone needs to tell you, because girl, it is not healthy that you are skipping a meal. Because at the end of the day, it's about taking care of yourself. It's about being mindful of the boundaries that you are putting in your work environment and the boundaries that you're putting in your personal life. And that is how you get in touch with yourself. That is how you realize and reflect that what you're doing with your lifestyle and how you are handling your lifestyle, it's either bringing you stress or it's bringing you peace. Sometimes it's about taking things off your to-do list, taking things off your plate, instead of thinking that you can get everything done in that one single day, and it ends up burning you out. And I think a lot of people confuse the hustle mentality with the I have a goal and I'm going to work towards that goal. And let me tell you the difference. The difference between the hustle mentality is that you keep going until you reach that goal. But throughout that process, you're burning yourself out. You're not taking care of other priorities. You're not acknowledging the things that are really hurting you. You're not pausing to realize the relationships that you have or the environment that you're surrounded by, because you're so focused on one single thing of reaching whatever goal you have for yourself that you're neglecting so many other important things that contribute to that goal. And the difference with you have a goal and you're going to reach it is that you are looking at every area in your life of how you're going to reach that goal with being mindful of taking care of the other things you need to take care of. And only a few will actually understand that, because again, we are so caught up on that hustle mentality that so many people are just like, no, like I have to keep going. I have to keep going until I have this much money saved up, until I have all of this that I need. And, like, I want these materialistic things, so I'm going to get it. And, and we start focusing on things that don't even really matter, and we forget about the true things, the little things that could actually be potentially getting us to that goal. But again, not a lot of people are ready to hear that, and that is what it is. Anyways, before going too off topic about the soft girl era, let me bring you back a little bit now. Being soft, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you look less than anything else. Getting in touch with our soft energy as a woman, it can be really tough. And becoming soft is not for anybody else but yourself. But it starts to become really tough for women sometimes because it's a lot of internal work that we have to do within ourselves. It's a lot of healing that we have to do. And it's really about releasing and letting go of anything that has forced us into hardening the heart and not allowing us to have that compassion for ourselves. And healing is really important to stop feeling the guilt, to stop feeling sad, to stop feeling angry about certain things that have really damaged us throughout our years. Because if we continue to neglect certain events that happened in our life because we just want to ignore it, or we don't want to think about it, or it didn't really, or you have that mindset of like, oh, it didn't hurt, like I don't care about it, like let's just keep moving on and focusing on what truly matters. At the end of the day, some things do hurt, and some things will stick to us. And as much as we want to push it down, there's going to be things that are always going to remind us of certain events that happened that can trigger us so easily. And I know it gets really difficult when you have to actually pause and be like, okay, what is hurting me today? Like, why am I pissed today? What in the world is happening today that I'm mad at the whole world? And then you start thinking about your day and you're just like, oh, holy cow. Okay, I get it. It wasn't actually the person that said the comment. It was the comment that they said that hurt me, because that certain comment came from someone that hurt me in the past, and now someone else said it, and all these emotions just start coming up, and it triggers you more because it's something that you haven't fully healed from and you haven't let go of, and then it triggers you. And then you start cussing at that person and you're like, well, no, you're this and that and this and that. And then it's just like this constant battle that you're just like fighting because you haven't let go of that. It's hard work healing, and it doesn't come easy. It's not going to come easy. It's not going to come from one day to another. But let me tell you something. If you leave it to God, He will heal it. He will heal anything. And I know some people, it's hard to hear that, and some people don't want to hear that because it's like, it's really that easy. Yeah, it really is that easy. And I'm not trying to push anything down your throat or anything, but not until you try it, you won't know. And I think a lot of folks that are in their late 20s, early 30s, we're in our adulthood now, and there's a lot of crap that we have not healed from our childhood, and now it's coming out. Now we're starting to see it. Now we're starting to realize why we get triggered by certain comments that our parents tell us, why we can't see certain family members, why we don't like to be around certain people, why certain environments are just like so toxic for us. Now we start seeing these things because we never were taught to heal from those things. We were taught to suck it up, move on, and figure it out. And now we're here trying to figure it out. And then there's certain comments that are being made to us, and we're like, well, what the heck? Like, where does that come from? And in order to get in touch with your soft energy and be able to heal from certain things, it's about learning the root cause of things. We have to stop minimizing our feelings. We have to stop thinking that being vulnerable is weak. Stop putting your feelings aside. Stop thinking that if you share and express how you're feeling, it's gonna come off the wrong way to someone else, or that someone else isn't gonna listen to it, or someone else is not gonna validate those feelings. If you're expressing those feelings to the person that you need to express those feelings to, and they're completely shutting it down, maybe it's time to realize that that person does not deserve your vulnerability, does not deserve the explanation that you are trying to get across to them in order for them to understand why they made you feel a certain way. And the harsh truth is that sometimes these can be family members that can shut your feelings down, and they're the ones telling you, get over it. I did nothing to you. I did nothing wrong. And that can kill you even more. And you're just like, I literally just wasted my whole breath explaining to this person why they made me feel a certain way. And now they're trying to gaslight me into thinking that I'm just acting crazy and I'm feeling crazy for the certain comment that they made towards me, the action that they made towards me. And in reality, at the end of the day, as we are getting older, we are realizing the people, whether they're family members or not, those people should no longer be in our lives. Those people do not deserve our explanations or our vulnerability and the way that they are making us feel. We shouldn't be giving them the power. Don't give them the power to make you feel less than. Your vulnerability is beautiful, and don't hide your feelings. Don't minimize your feelings because you don't want to show them or share them with the wrong person. Sometimes we have to get to that point where we are going to share our feelings to the wrong people, and they're going to show us whether they deserve our vulnerability or not. And if they don't, God's going to remove those people out of your life instantly. Another way that you need to stop minimizing your feelings is allowing yourself to feel. And this really depends on the way that you grew up, but a lot of us did grow up in that fight or flight mode. And sometimes when certain feelings arise, we want to just put our solution cape on and try and fix the problem instead of stopping, reflecting, and understanding why you're feeling a certain way. And it's scary. It's scary, definitely, getting in touch with your feelings and understanding why you're feeling a certain way, and realizing that you don't have to be the hero all the time. You don't have to be the tough guy all the time. You don't have to fix everyone's problems all the time. It's exhausting having the need to fix everybody's problems around you. And honestly, it comes to women so naturally, trying to fix everything because we have that nurturing mentality where we just need to take care of everybody. And we end up leaving ourselves at the end. And what ends up happening to ourselves is that because we let so many things build up and we let so many things slide, there's so many things that we didn't end up being able to take care of at that time. So then it ends up coming years later, and then we end up asking ourselves, like, where's this coming from? Like, why am I feeling a certain way? Oh yeah, because when this came up, I was taking care of everybody else except for me. And hey, honestly, women have superpowers. Women have that capability to take care of everybody else around them, plus ourselves. We do. But I think it also comes with how we grow up, where we see our own parents or our own moms, how they were treating themselves, how they were putting everybody else before them, and then they were the last ones to sit at the dinner table. They were the last ones out the door. They're always the last ones. So for us, that comes so naturally because it's what we had seen growing up the whole time. And I definitely want to have my mom on this episode for, you know, there's just a lot of things that now that I'm older and now that, you know, she has definitely changed a lot of her perspective of the way that she grew up and the way that she handled a lot of things and just how she takes care of herself now. Like, there's just so many things that I admire about her and we talk about, and I just want her on here, and I will definitely be having her on here because we have very much the same mentality of taking care of ourselves and prioritizing our self-care. And she taught me a lot of this. She taught me a lot of the healing work, the loving yourself, allowing God to take care of you and everything, and the way that she just speaks. And there was just a lot of healing work that she's still doing, but that she has done. And it has really inspired me to break a lot of chains that our family had going on. And just realizing that I don't want that to go into my family when I create a family. But I feel like it's just really important also to have that older person and that older wisdom to kind of teach you those ways. But it's even more beautiful seeing it from someone that grew up that way and now they're breaking those chains and they're teaching you how to break those generational chains. And anyways, I'm going to have her on here and you guys are just going to hear her and you're going to be like, wow, like so amazing. But anywho, oh my God, I think I lost track of what I was saying. It's funny because I was actually having this conversation with her like a few days ago. So that's why I started thinking about her. But anywho, it's a point getting to that, but I got a little bit off topic. You know, in order to get into that soft touch of yours is to realize that sometimes we're going to be wrong about certain things and it's okay to admit it. And I know for my pride freaks, it's going to be so hard to admit that you were wrong. What? I was wrong? No. Like, let me make a point that I was not wrong and I'm not wrong because of, well, no, girl, you were wrong and you can admit that you were wrong. Once you start admitting that sometimes you're not always going to be right, you're not going to be on the like defensive side of everything all the time. Like you're not going to take a defense to everything and think that you have to give a point to something or that, oh, this is the right way because blah, 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 blah. No, like it's okay. We're all going to say something wrong. We're going to do wrong things. We're going to mess up. And that's okay. Admit it. We're not perfect. And you don't always have to be right. And this also goes into learning to apologize. Let's say it together. I am sorry. I never liked apologizing. I would try and tiptoe my way around apologizing. And honestly, till this day, sometimes I have to suck it up. And when I am wrong, and I have to apologize, and mostly to Robert, sometimes I have to be like, okay, I'm sorry. Yes, that wasn't right. Or okay, I admit it, I'm wrong, And it just hurts. It hurts our pride sometimes. It just pinches a little bit and you're just like, dang it. I always like being right. And I do. I'm going to be honest. I love being right. But sometimes I'm wrong and I have to admit it. And sometimes I have to apologize. I have to say I'm sorry. And it's so hard. But you know what? I teach a lot of my youth these sort of things all the time. And if I am not leading by example, why would I be coaching my youth these certain things? And it's crazy because there's certain things that I coach my youth on that as adults, we should be coached on as well, because there's so many things that we were not. And now that we're adults, we're trying to figure it out on our own. And we're just kind of like cricket, we're just don't really know how to do that. And so there's just a lot of things that I have taken out of coaching that I do with my mentors and my youth that I really try to work in my own life. And I feel like this is also things that I want to put out in this podcast, because there's just a lot of conversations that I have with a lot of different friends and a lot of people that I'm meeting, and we're still learning how to do this. But again, it's because the environment that we grew up in, and our parents didn't know any better. Their parents didn't know any better. And now we're here learning a lot more about ourselves and our culture and just the way that we grew up. And in reality, it is up to us to do the healing work. And this leads into one last thing that I want to talk about. And that is that it's okay to ask for help. It was really hard for me to ask for help because I felt like I needed to figure it out on my own. And I didn't want to be a burden for anybody else. And I would just look at my parents. I would be like, well, they did it without asking for help. I can do it too, And I also think that this came from just seeing when my parents were just working all the time and they, were trying to provide for us and everything. So this mentality really came from dang, they're just working so hard. I don't want to ask for help. I don't want to put anything else on their plate. And now I see this with the young people that I work with, and I'm always telling them, ask for help. Ask for help. Like, there's people that are willing to help. There's people that are always going to be there wanting to help out and give their time and have the time, and I'm always just reminding them that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay if you don't know the answer to something. It's okay if you're feeling stuck. It's okay if you need guidance. And I'm just reflecting now that, I grew up in a Hispanic household, and I feel like a lot of the points that I hit on and talked about throughout this episode, it's honestly the upbringing that we had and the mentality that we grew up with, where expressing your feelings weren't a priority. Being mindful of your day-to-day wasn't really important. Feeling like you needed to fix everything is something that we kind of came out with because our parents came here not knowing the language. So how many of you were forced to read these legal documents and they're expecting you to understand whatever these words and terms are, and they're like expecting you to translate certain documents, and you're just like, I don't know what it means, and now like we get to this point where we're just trying to help everybody because that's the way that we grew up. We were put in certain situations where now we have to figure it out, and apologizing and admitting that we're wrong was never something that we were used to because our parents were never wrong. But I want to help us understand that we are a different generation. We are a generation where we heal. We are a generation where it's okay that we ask for help and we put our feelings before anything else. We are a generation that we can admit when we are wrong. And it's not anybody's fault that we were raised this way. It's the way that they were raised, and it's the way that their parents were raised. So it's what they knew. Now we are able to reflect and understand certain things that happened in our upbringing that we can change now, and that we are able to change into our own families, and we are able to make things easier. So yes, getting in touch with our soft girl era is way more than just the aesthetics. It's about internally healing yourself for mistakes that were caused in your childhood, for things that were said in the past, for actions that hurt. I know it's been probably hard to get in touch with your soft girl side, but it's not too late. We still have the opportunity to understand ourselves in a better and more intentional way. And all we can do from this point moving forward is to give ourselves the space and time. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I know sometimes it can be a lot for some people to hear certain things, but again, we are here to heal together, to grow together, and become a better version of ourselves every single day. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Let me know what you guys thought about this week's episode. You can comment down below or DM me at SincerelyBePodcast on Instagram. And I can't wait to chat with you guys all on our next week's episode. Sincerely, B.